Well, joining us now is Dr. Laura Edwards, who represents GPs across Dorset, Hampshire and the Isle of Wight. Dr. Edwards, this is a very worrying time for patients. What is going wrong?
So it's really hard to hear patients struggling to get through to their GPs, and I'd like to say that GPs also find it really difficult to hear that, because we fundamentally want to care for our patients. The difficulty is that quite simply there are not enough GPs, and this has been a problem for some time. We've seen this coming for a number of years and have tried to tell the government about it and that this was going to be a problem. It might surprise your viewers that for 1.9 million patients across Hampshire and Isle of Wight, there are only 1,000 GPs able to give them care. So we've got to a point where there really are very few GPs available, but we need to move from blaming those GPs for the shortage to actually supporting them so that they stay in the workforce. We wouldn't blame HGV drivers for there being a shortage, and we mustn't blame the GPs.
So all of which begs the question, what do we do about it? Obviously training GPs takes a long time, it takes years. So how do we solve the issue?
So I think we've got to kind of acknowledge that there is a problem and accept it. This has been something building for a long time. The NHS is somewhat a victim of its own success. We have amazing treatments now that mean that people are surviving perhaps 1, even 2, maybe even 3 cancers, having operations that keep them alive. But that has created a very medically complex population and a population that has aged as well. So we've got to acknowledge that actually the needs of the population are very, very high, and we don't simply have the health workforce to meet all of those needs.
But I mean, at the moment it's a perfect storm, isn't it? Because you haven't got enough GPs. On top of that, there's such a surge in winter illness like COVID, strep A, flu. This is the problem.
It is. It's a mismatch between the needs of people and the supply of GPs, and we've got to move away from blaming the GPs for that shortage. They're not in control of how many GPs there are. So
what would you say to anyone watching tonight, though, who's got a poorly child, who can't get through on the phone? What would you say to them? Because people are desperate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a parent myself, and I know that feeling of anxiety of having your child ill and really worrying. So what I would say is, first thing I would do is look on the Healthier Together website or app. There's an app available as well, and it's a really good, reliable source of information that's been created by local paediatricians and the GPs. And on there, it's got lots of information about common childhood illnesses and when to be worried and when not to be worried. And you can check your child's symptoms there for the features of when not to be worried, but equally it will tell you when you do need that assessment very clearly, and when you need to go and seek that urgently as well. It makes that difference for you.
Thank you so much for your advice, Dr. Edwards. I hope things improve for everybody.
Thank you. We do too. Thank you.